is the 10K Club. And what we're doing this evening, we are recognizing those team members, our leaders that are Take Shape for Life health coaches out in the field in 3 different parts of our beautiful country. They are helping serve. How much is $10,000 in frontline volume? Can anyone tell me? How many clients would you need to be serving if you were running $10,000 in frontline volume? So it's an average order of $300. Greg, I thought I heard you say, what is it?
40. 10,000 divided by 300 is 33.34. So anywhere probably 30 to 35 clients.
35 clients. So who can tell me how much income you'd be earning if that was all you did? Because a lot of these people have teams and they've grown businesses. But what if you just got your volume up to $10,000 and 33 clients? What would you be earning in income? Can anyone tell me that? I got some smart people on the call.
Over $3,000.
Over $3,000 a month for serving those people. Awesome. Outstanding. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. How do these experts, how do these masters, these leaders in health coaching get to over 33 clients a month in frontline volume? And we have a fantastic lineup of speakers. We're going to kick it off with Bob and Phyllis Doyle. And then we're going to turn it over to the Spigelmans. And then we're flipping it to the Czers. So it's going to be a jam-packed, incredible call. I've heard what they've all got to share. I'm going to be taking mad notes. I suggest everybody get out a paper and a pen and take some notes. We're going to have the Czers close us up, and they're going to provide the last 15 minutes of our call is going to be question and answers from the experts. So we're super excited to have every one of you on the call. I'm going to go ahead and mute all. And then I'm going to take the Doyles off mute so they can share. And then they're each going to share for about 4 minutes. And then they're going to turn it over to each other. So without further ado, hold on. I'm looking for the Doyles. There's Bob.
They can unmute themselves.
Bob, I can see your I can see that you're off mute, but I can't see your face. Can you talk, please?
Yeah. Can you hear me, Whitney?
There you are. Yeah, welcome to the call, Bob and Phyllis Doyle. So I'm just going to turn it over to you both. We can see you. We can hear you. You look fantastic. Bob and Phyllis Doyle from Kansas City, Kansas. I'm going to let you take over, Bob.
Thanks, Whitney. Well, I really like this topic because I think Phyllis and I both agree that, your frontline volume is really the foundation for your business. At least that's the way we look at it. And that's because that's where we're helping people get healthy. And so we set it as a goal to, help as many people as we can and get our frontline volume up to a level where we're getting a good return on that. So I guess the first thing I'd share, and I've got a few bullet points here that I think were helpful for us as we, got our frontline volume where we want it to be, which is at about 15,000 a month, and that's where we like to maintain it. The first thing is to set a mindful primary choice for where you want your frontline volume to be. I have found that some people may be blessed with a network of relationships where they're able to, share the program and sign up a lot of people initially. But in order to keep that sustainable, I think that it's really important to, set a SMART goal for where you want to maintain your frontline volume and be clear about where you want it to be. So we've established our primary choice or our SMART goal for $15,000 a month, which to us equates now after 6 years of coaching to about 55 to 60 active ordering clients each month. The time that we invest in that is about 8 to 10 hours collectively. So between Phyllis and I, we devote 8 to 10 hours a week to our frontline volume. And that $15,000 in frontline volume equates to about, when you factor in the growth bonuses and the quarterly consistency bonuses, that factors out to about $5,000 a month in personal income. So that's a nice starting point for any business, I think. And for 8 to 10 hours a month, that's pretty sweet. But here's the keys I think that we found for what it takes to really maintain that. Number one, you got to walk the walk. And I'm not going to go into detail because that's another 3-hour seminar, but you got to walk the walk. You got to be a fully integrated client. You got to commit yourself to doing the program, going beyond weight loss, and really understanding and integrating yourself with the habits of health and Dr. Anderson's system, because people will pick up on that. And the reason that that's important is because we have found that, I call it the rule of percentages. You're going to have a certain percentage of clients, and we've all, for those of us who've been health coaches for a while, you can relate to this. You're going to have a certain percentage of clients who fail no matter what you do. You're also going to have a certain percentage of clients that succeed no matter what you do. And then you're going to have a large percentage of clients that succeed and stay on program for a long period of time, in part because of what you do. And that's where being a good health coach really comes into play when it comes to not only getting results with your clients, but sustaining a good frontline volume and keeping your business going. So if you walk the walk and know the habits of health, and then do some things to be a good health coach, your opportunity to keep people on program beyond weight loss, keep them on a maintenance program, teach them the habits of health, and keep them on program are gonna be higher. So here's just a few bullet points that we found to be really important. Number one, be professional. And to me, that means a few things. Number one, be a student of emotional intelligence and being autonomy supportive. Don't take that for granted. That is so, those concepts are so huge to being a good health coach. And after so many years now of listening to Dr. Anderson and Greg and Whitney and other leaders talk about those concepts, I find that we've just scratched the surface. So I think it's important to really be a student of those concepts. Number two, begin your clients properly. When you sign them up, when they're ready to go, make sure you take them through the sign-up process the way that we've been trained, get them on the B-Slim programs, have them get the kit, get the books, get them signed up properly. Number three, that first week is critical. Do the check-ins for the first 4 days at least. Make sure that they understand the protocol, that they're doing it correctly, that they're getting into fat burning. And number four, maintain a regular check-in schedule. And we generally, it varies from client to client, but the vast majority of them, we check in with them on a weekly basis, and we stick with that as long as necessary to keep them going on program. And finally, get them integrated into the habits of health. Use the habits of health system as you talk to them, learn about what's going on with them, help keep moving them forward with other things beyond just weight loss, including sleep and exercise and managing stress and being fulfilled, to keep them moving forward in the habits of health so they feel that they're being fully integrated into that system, and that's what really keeps them moving forward. So those are some of the things that I think go into being a good health coach and keeping them on program for a longer period of time. And again, two things. Number one, the results are more sustainable. Number two, you continue to be rewarded for those results financially. Along with that then comes referrals, which is a big part of our business. As I said, our goal is to get to 15,000 and maintain that in frontline volume. After a while, if you're doing a good job of being a health coach, we found that if you get about 5 new clients a month and maintain that you can maintain that volume. The majority of those new clients come from referrals, which Phyllis is really good at. She's a great health coach, and she's awesome at getting referrals. So I think she's a good source to kind of turn it over to and ask her to talk about what the things that she does to get referrals from our current clients. So Dave,
that'd be great.
Yeah, you want to take it?
Yeah. Well, the first thing about getting referrals, it starts with your client, obviously, and it's being a passionate health coach. Be passionate about what you do, guys. We have the goods. You know, we're not Medifast salespeople. We're not a weight loss program. We truly are optimal health coaches. So I don't know anything out there that's like that. And that's how I portray us. You know, you want weight loss, you go to Jenny Craig and fail like you've done so many others. I don't say that, that's in my head. But if you want health, you've come to the right place. Take Shape for Life offers optimal health. And by being passionate and caring with that client, they begin to trust you enough to send their friends and their family, because they know that their friends and their family are going to be turned over to somebody that really cares about them. So when I talk to my clients and they're saying, oh, I'm losing so much weight, you know, I'm getting compliments. And I said, well, hey, you know, how are those friends looking of yours? You know, do they look like they could use our program? Do they need to be healthy? And, you know, well, of course, the majority of the time, oh, yeah, you know, I'd love for them to get on program. I said, well, don't hesitate to, you know, give them my phone number. If they're comfortable, have me call them, because I'm not going to try to sell them anything. I'm just going to ask questions and see where they're at in their life and what their needs are. And that's basically, you know, what happens is you invite the client to share their friends and family members that may be able to use your help with you, and you nurture them too. And it just happens.
And then you add a little icing on the cake sometimes, right?
Oh, a lot of icing on the cake. Of course, I'm a nurturer. So, yeah, I like to make them feel special. I like to be their cheerleader. I love, you know, being a health coach. So.
And the incentive of the free food.
Oh, sorry, the icing on the cake. Yes. I always let my clients know, hey, good way to get some free food, because I deal with a lot of women, and the women out there know we like a bargain. So I just let them know, any referrals that you give me that sign up on program, you'll get a free box of meals. So, you know, those dark chocolate shakes you love, how would you like a box of those free? And that really helps also. And one of my clients had a ridiculous amount of free food, practically a whole month. And that was just from posting a picture on Facebook, a before and after. So that's it.
So just to clarify, fantastic, both of you. Thank you so much. Tons of great information. I was taking mad notes, and I love everything you both shared. What you're saying, though, just to wrap up the last piece for you, Phyllis, is that on Facebook, you challenged a client to post their own picture, and in came the flood. Right. So for those clients that will post their picture, and then did you ask them to tag you in it as well?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Excellent.
Excellent. I'm friends with all my clients on Facebook, and I'm, you know, when they post, oh, I lost another 3 pounds, I'm the first one to respond back, hey, it's been wonderful watching this journey.
Awesome. Yeah. So you're making friends on Facebook, which turns us over to our Facebook man, David Spigelman. Thank you, Doyles. You did a fantastic job. Now we're going to bat it over to from Kansas to Maryland. You're in Baltimore, Maryland, right, David?
I am.
Okay. And is Stacy going to be sharing with you tonight, or will you be doing this?
She's just going to be standing by and waving.
Good evening, Stacy. Well, David, we know that you are excellent at social media, and I just want to turn it over to you. And why don't you share with us how you have created over 10,000 in frontline volume, and tell us your story.
All right. Well, we have a few things that I was going to talk about, and I just want to apologize if I talk too fast, because I'm going to try to get it all in. So, basically, what we found is that social media, and particularly Facebook, we found it extremely valuable for our business. We actually get nearly half of our clients from there. The things that we found to be most important are really to be positive and motivational. We used a lot of things like consistent postings and themes. We have like Motivation Monday, Tasty Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday, Thoughtful Thursday, Fitness Friday. And we post those every single week. And, you know, so every week we post things that fit into that theme of that day. We look for things that are inspiring and that speak to us, and that we post them because we hope that they'll speak to others. And since we've become involved with Take Shape for Life and, you know, and lost weight and gotten healthy, we naturally have become more interested in health topics. So we try to keep our eyes open for interesting health articles, and we post them as well. one of the things that I think a lot of people don't really know about is how important it is to comment on other people's posts, not just like them. What happens is that when you comment on people's posts, you actually show up on their feed, and they show up on your feed, and that's especially important for people that you have connections with that maybe you don't really see what they're posting very much, or they don't see you. If you comment on their posts, all of a sudden it brings you up to the fore, and now they're starting to see you again. So it's really helpful to be able to do that. So just go through some of your friends, your old friends' posts that you haven't seen in a while, and just comment on things, because it'll bring it up. One of the very important things that we've been using lately is a tool called Hootsuite, and that's HOOTSUITE.com. And it's a free tool. And what it allows you to do, wow, don't know what happened to my voice there. What it allows you to do is schedule your posts in advance so that you can find things you'd like to post and then set them for when you have the time. Set them up when you have the time, rather. So if it's like Tuesday and you find something that would be great for Fitness Friday, you can put it into Hootsuite, set it for Friday, and then forget about it. And on Friday, it'll just appear in your feed. Also, some people don't have a lot of time during the week to go through and schedule and get posts up. So what they do is they can actually take some time during the weekend, find things to post for the week, and then just schedule them to go. And then again, it's set it and forget it. Come the right day at the right time, it'll just post. So it's a really great tool to be able to to use for that. The second topic that I was asked to talk about was about sharing, and it has it's kind of something that that the Boyles were talking about a little bit. But I talk to everyone. We're expecting a big snowstorm beginning on Friday, so naturally everyone in Baltimore is stocking up on the essentials. Eggs, milk, and toilet paper. And so this evening, while I was in the shopping line, I started talking to the woman behind me in line. Not about Take Shape for Life, about snow. But eventually, I brought it back into the fact that I'm much more able to shovel snow myself since I lost 50 pounds 3 years ago. So to make it short, I now have her name, email address, and phone number, and I'm going to be sending her information this evening. I go to business expos, and I go to different tables to talk to people. I listen to what they're talking about, and invariably after I've talked to them a little bit about what they're there for, they ask about what I do, and I tell them about my own weight loss. I don't really, I never go and say, hey, you're fat, you want to talk to me? I'm really talking about my own program, what I did for myself, and I keep a picture of my before and after picture on my phone so that I can just pull it up and show it to them. And invariably it's, wow. Even from people who knew me, it's like, I don't remember you looking like that. So at the Anaheim National Convention a couple of years ago, someone actually said something, and I apologize, I don't remember who it was, but somebody said something about knowing what you hold in your hands. And that really resonated with us. I remember us talking about it. And I really believe that we hold something very special in our hands. And so naturally, I want to share it. And so I do with everybody. We hold an incredible gift. Don't be afraid to go out there and share it. Just try not to make it too salesy. The last thing that I wanted to talk about was caring. And again, the Boyles talked about this a little bit, but at this past national convention in Orlando, David Miller said that we should focus on showing how much we care for our clients and don't worry about the money, just love on them. I don't think anyone does this better than my wife, Stacy, and she is really my role model for this. Officially, we're taught to check in with our new clients for the first 4 days or 4 to 5 days. But we really actually check in for pretty much the entire first week. And then after that, she continues to send text messages periodically. Not necessarily about TSFL either. Sometimes she'll just send an inspiring image or a message saying, I was thinking of you. Because she cares about them. And they really feel it. And many of them stay on program just because of that, because they really feel this connection with her. Because of those things that she does. And it's not onerous. It's not a lot of time. It's just, quick something, but it makes them feel connected. Make them feel loved and let them know that you really do care about them, and always be looking for ways to grow in your ability to help others. That's what I got.
Brilliant. Rock star, David. Thank you so much. And I want to give each of the little blurbs that I've heard. I heard Bob Doyle shared about integrity. I heard Phyllis share about passion. David, I just heard you share about building trust and sharing with everyone and leveraging social media. So I think we've got some really great content so far. Thank you so much, David, and I wish you luck in the snowstorm. I know the Doyles will be stopping by if needed.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to turn it all the way over to sunny Southern California to Dr. Greg and Denise Czer. Are you both there, please?
Thank you so much, Whitney. Thanks for having us on the call tonight.
Thank you, Whitney.
Fun to see the Doyles and the other part of the country. I love everything that they said. It's nice to see how they work together. Greg and I are going to talk a little bit about working together as a partner, because those of us that are married or have partners, we know that each of us has different strengths, and this business is a great avenue to utilize each individual strength. I personally am a big fan of David's Facebook post. I really believe as a health coach, there's only positive things that come from this. On any given day, some of us could say, oh, shoot, I had to wait too long for a phone call, or I had something that may be what we consider a momentary obstacle. And I'm a really big believer in never posting that. Because once that passes, you've already posted how something bad happened. I believe your pity party should be your shortest, and I think you should complain for 1 millisecond to the person that's closest to you, and that's it. It's done. It should never be on Facebook, especially in terms of Take Shape for Life. This business has brought us more joy and more pleasure than anything we've ever done. And I think that it only, would just be a negative to say anything. So that's my little speech about Facebook. I love David's posts. I get to see them when they pop in. So I'm a big fan. So thanks for doing that part of the talk tonight, David. That was awesome. So one of the things that I wanted to share, and we've talked about this for years. First off, I think we have a large frontline volume because I love health coaching. I was the person that never wanted to coach coaches because I loved health coaching so much. And it wasn't until Brian Drollinger said, really, Denise, if you love health coaching so much and you love people so much, why wouldn't you want them to have what you have? Right? So, I still, to this day, I will always probably carry a large frontline volume because I love people. But in order to have that sustainable long-term 10 to 20,000 or over 20,000 in frontline volume a month, there's a few fundamental things that we really have to do. And it really starts, it's the same thing that Dr. A talks about all the time. It's that relationship. Because I love people, it's really easy for me. I'm interested in them, but I have some few fundamentals that I do. So on the health tracker, when I am interviewing somebody, whether I am on the phone or never met them, I love people I have virtually never met. Raise your hand if you're a health coach and you love people that you've coached, you've never ever met. Yeah. It's the coolest thing. Like, you can really get to know somebody because weight loss is so personal and so private, and it's such a great relationship. So I take notes, really copious notes, when I am talking to somebody and I'm doing their health tracker. So if I were going to be signing up a new client today and they lived in Alaska and I have that health tracker, I have my cheat sheet notes on the back of that. She has 3 kids, because people mention in the course of conversation, I have 3 kids, one of them's in college, I have this, and so much. And if you do not write that down, you're doing that relationship an injustice. So as you're signing up a new client or even interviewing them, maybe they don't want to sign up right now, I still use the health tracker to fill it out as they're talking to me. So say Susie Q calls me, or I call Susie Q, oh, your friend Betty said that you were interested in a program. I'd love to hear what you'd love to do. And then I'm taking notes because they're telling you, this is what I had. I had a heart attack a year ago. I had this, I had that. And it's important for us to have these long-term relationships. And that's what we're talking about tonight, long-term relationships, to know about that person. So like, for instance, in January, we all have these clients. It's February, it's even more popular, that call you and go, oh, remember me 5 years ago, I was on program. I go to my file cabinet and I pull out their health tracker, which is client profile sheet. And I have on there, so that when I'm talking to them, I say, oh, you had one in college. How's it now? And I can refer back to that, to the relationship. So those are people that may have jumped off program. So let's talk about long-term people being on program. When I am offering something for somebody to be on program, I'm a long-term optimal health person. I went on program 6 years ago. I lost 40 pounds. I've maintained my weight loss. And the reason I have is because I believe in the principles of the habits of health. I follow that. So when somebody's going to sign up with us as a client with Greg or I, we do not say, you're going to be like me, you're going to use this product for the rest of your life. I don't say that. I always give people you know what? when I first started this, I just wasn't sure. Let's try, my recommendation personally as the person that would love to be your health coach, is that you try it for 1 month. And let's see how you enjoy this. I don't say you're going to change your whole world. It comes in phases. So then when you get them into fat burn, then you've got somebody that's really going to be committed. And after about 6 weeks, they want to know how I've kept my weight off. And that's the teachable moment. Well, you know, I've been reading The Habits of Health. I picked it up many, many times. A lot of our clients now get the Discover Your Optimal Health book. And I'll say, you know, the Discover Your Optimal Health is Cliff Notes of The Habits of Health. And I really want you to continue reading that. And what I found is that I really don't want to gain my weight back. So I really have embraced this program. And what I do is I use products. I'm a super busy mom and I have 5 grandkids. And I love the fact that I have a community that can help me stay where I want to be. I'm so glad that you're part of this community now. And as you go along, I can certainly help you. We have great optimal health products that my husband and I currently use to keep our weight off. Gosh, there's not a healthier thing I can put in my body. I'm not a great cook. I do know how to cook, but time is always a enemy for me. So I love the fact that I can order products still today and use them. So that's what I do. I'm not telling them what to do. I'm telling them what I do, and I'm inviting them if they want to know more about that or how they can do that. So what the Doyles have mentioned before, and I don't know if you've heard them say this before, but it's so true. When you build a long-term sustainable business, not all of Greg and I's clients are brand new clients. So if we have a volume that's between $15,000 and $20,000 in a month, a lot of that is return visits as people that have embraced the philosophies that we have shared with them of our program. And they have decided that they want to be like, you know, Greg, my husband wants to keep his cholesterol lower. All those of you who know my husband, he's a thin doctor, but we still love him. And then the people that want to really make sure that they align themselves with healthy eating habits, and they do that. So those people, you're not having to contact every week. Those are people that you check in with. I personally send out an email every Sunday that is to my entire organization. I use Constant Contact because if those of you have used mass email, Gmail after the Paris attacks did close our ability to serve large populations. So I do use Constant Contact. And that is something just like what David talked about. It's a little inspirational message. It's I'm here for you if you need to lose 5 more pounds, whatever. I mean, it's a connection that I do with hundreds and hundreds of clients every week. And it's amazing because I see people and they say, gosh, you know, that connection that you gave me a month ago made me realize I really need to be eating 4 products a day instead of 2 or 3 or whatever. So basically, it boils down to establish the relationship up front, stay in contact with your clients, you know, make sure you know what they want, not what you want, not what I want for them. Make sure we know what they want. Support them in their choices and let them know that this is an offering that they can do forever. I plan to use, who here plans to use 1 or more products for the rest of their life just to stay healthy? Probably everyone on the line, right? So why not have our clients like that? That's called fully integrated clients. And I love that about the program. One of the things my husband's going to talk about is how we work together in a marriage. So I would like to invite my husband, Dr. Greg Czer, to the line, and he's going to talk for a couple minutes. And then we're going to, if we are okay time-wise, we would love to answer any questions that you guys have for any of the leaders on the call tonight. So, honey, welcome to the call.
Thank you. So I have a kind of an interesting perspective here because initially, being a physician, I was referring all of my patients to Denise, who would do the coaching. And so I've gotten to watch her do the coaching pretty close up over the last 5 years, and saw that she was having so much fun and everything. I decided I want to get involved. She was having all the fun. Patients were so happy. And so I started coaching myself. But one of the things that I've also noticed is there's a lot of changeover in patient populations in a medical practice is I've seen how Denise coaches, and my opinion is the same as David's, and that is Denise is an absolute amazing health coach, and I've learned a lot from her and how I approach even my patients in my medical practice, but especially how I coach clients now. in that the relationship is so important upfront, getting it established, and then continued contact. I've had experiences with patients who have other health coaches who basically sign them up, call them once or twice, and then that's all the contact that they've ever had with their health coach. And those are not going to be long-term clients who are loyal to a health coach. So I can't stress how important it is what everybody shared on the call, and that is, establishing a strong relationship in the very beginning. It really doesn't take that long. It's just really asking questions, being interested in people, and then continuing to contact them. It doesn't have to be long conversations. Text, email, short phone calls is fine. And sometimes that continued contact is just the weekly constant contact message that we send out. But that's important. And then in how we work together, some patients and clients are a better fit for Denise, some are a better fit for me. We've had some couples where Denise will do one of the couples, and I'll do the other half of the couple. And it makes it smoother and easier around, and more comfortable for everybody. And it's fun. We get to exchange stories back and forth when we're talking. But it's a blast working with your spouse and health coaching. Of course, when I started coaching and I run to her and say, "Oh, so-and-so lost 40 pounds," she's like, yeah, whatever. I've done that 100 times. But we've had a great time supporting each other and helping each other with challenging clients.
Yeah, it's great. It is really great. And it's funny because my husband, he's really supportive of, he's always been so thrilled with Take Shape for Life. But one day, and I'll tell you, this does motivate you to coach as many people as you can. He said to me, "Denise, I'm a triple board certified doctor, and you may have saved more lives than I have." And I said, "Greg, that's really powerful. I don't know that that's true." And he said, "No, I can see that coaching saves so many lives." And when you're working from that point of, look, what we do is, like the Doyle said, that we're professionals. What we do is life-changing. What we have to offer is extraordinary. And so when we come from that point, it's really easy to take on these large amounts of people because it's, brings such joy and such satisfaction. But at this point, thanks, honey, for sharing that. And I'm sorry, I probably could be a little more supportive. He's so cute because he's just so excited, and I love it. But it's funny.
Well, and the last thing I'd like to just reaffirm is, I don't think there's really that much magic in terms of getting referrals. I think if you really show interest and are connected to your clients, referrals come pretty naturally. There's not really a whole lot you need to do to make referrals happen.
Right.
It's all got to do with how you're connected to and supporting your clients, and that makes them want to share what they've experienced with other people, and it just happens naturally.
That's right. I think you're right. Okay, so we're going to open it up to some questions, and I did notice we're a couple minutes over if those of you have to leave. But if it's okay with you, Whitney, can we open them for a few questions? Is there anybody that
There's some questions in the chat room. Denise, there's questions in the chat room. Can you manage that?
Okay, so Amanda is saying that she likes to send out a group, but she can only send 10 at a time. And that is actually a new problem with all of the internet email servers. I do know that. So you do have to pay for constant contact, but you can send up to like 2,000, I think, and then you pay per person that you send it out. But it's actually a great service. It's very easy to use, and I'll tell you what I love about the service. If you call them, like for me, like I'm not Pat Stouty. I call Pat Stouty and go, "Okay, I don't get this." She's got this brain that's phenomenal, and I can't figure out internet things as quickly as she can. So I call them and I just say, "Look, I'm 55 years old. I'm not great at this. Could you help me?" And Constant Contact will tell you exactly how to attach documents, how to mass send things out, how to create the email. It is a very different system, but it is a phenomenal system. It's awesome. So, and you do have to pay for it, but if you're doing what we're saying on the call tonight, you will be more than happy to pay for that. $35 or whatever it is. Thank you. Did I answer the question, Amanda?
Can I just add one other thing? In that there are some other systems. Sean actually mentioned Mad Mimi, that's one of them. There's also one called MailChimp, and there are a bunch of others. Some of them have certain amounts of mail that you can send for free. You're not going to get the support, like what Denise was saying. You're not going to get the support. But if you're a little bit more tech savvy and you can handle it, you can use those kinds of services as well.
Great. Somebody named Dee had a comment.
Yeah, I had a comment. It's Dee Garcia.
Oh, hi, Doctor. Hi, Doctor.
You know what? I look like hell because I've got this really bad cold and sore throat, so I've got my video blocked. But I wanted to make a comment that one mistake that health coaches, newer health coaches make is when they have a referral, oftentimes the referral will say, oh, hi, I ran into this. This actually happened to me this weekend while I was at the tail end of my ski trip. But I got a phone call. I was in Park City, and the person said, hi, this is, Mary Smith, and I ran into Gary and Connie, who are clients of mine. I ran into them, and they look amazing, and I would like to do your program, or I would like to consider your program. Can you send me something? And so the mistake that oftentimes newer health coaches do is they get the email address, and then they're, sending them to a website, or they're sending them to a brochure or this or that. And right away I said to this woman, I said, Mary, all I need to do is spend about 20 to 30 minutes with you on the phone to see where you're starting, where you want to go, and to see if my program is a fit for you. Do you have time right now? And she said, yeah, I've got time right now. I had a blank profile with me. I don't care where I'm traveling. I always have profile forms with me. I did my 30 minutes of profiling. I explained the program. I invited her to try the program for a month, and she said yes, and I got her credit card information, and done. Versus sending the email with the website or blah, 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 blah. You just do it,
I agree. Thanks, Doctor. That is so true. I think that so many times people are ready. I have actually signed people up in the parking lot of the grocery store. You are absolutely 100% spot on, because sometimes it's strike while the iron's hot. And I know when I started program, I started instantaneously. I ordered right when I met the health coach. And I want to answer one of the questions. Amanda had another question online. Thank you, Dr. Garcia. That's if everybody does that, they'll double their business size. I totally agree with you. Amanda asked about, yes, you can send emails through tsfl.com, and we do use that for our coaches' emails, and we do use that sometimes for our client emails. But one thing you really need to know about that is it only goes back 1 year. So if you have, like I have clients, okay, let me just give you an example. I have clients that are athletes. They use the products when they're traveling, because they normally have a chef. I mean, talking about Olympic athletes. They have a chef, and so that person in some instances has bought $1,200 worth of product in December, traveled for 4 or 5 months, had it with them, then come back to a different cycle in their life and really literally hasn't used product. So we're talking about if they haven't used product for 1 year, but they may have ordered $1,200 in December or 1 month, they will not get your emails because it stops after 1 year. Do I want to eliminate that person from my sphere of influence and my circle of optimal health? Absolutely not. I want them to be part of my community, because the next year they may do the exact same thing and order $1,000 or $2,000 because they travel. We have like rock bands in Ireland. We have people all over the world that take this product with them. They may not be back in the United States for a year. They may buy a very large quantity of product and have it shipped personally or flown personally. So yes, it's a great system. Our Office in Motion does allow you to, but always remember that there's a time frame, and I never want to leave anybody out. So that's why I use constant contact. Does that answer the question? Yeah, and that just comes from knowing, doing this business for a long time and knowing that people sometimes do weird things with products. They order them in different amounts than we would normally think would be correct. Anyway, does anybody else have any more questions? Okay, well, thank you so much. Thank you very much, everybody. It was a great call. Whitney, thanks for having this call. We love talking about this business. As you can tell, we always go over because we enjoy it so much. Everybody, good night. Thanks a million. Bye-bye.